movie stars and TV stars. Hello and welcome to TMNT Toy Throwback. Today I'm going to talk about live action. The highs of the highest with the movie and then all the way down to TV. Well, I mean, good or bad doesn't really matter. What matters is live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 1990 saw the release of the very first TMNT movie, which was amazing. It took Playmate some time though, as they would only release figures after the second movie in 1991. Dubbed the TMNT movie stars, and wow, do they look like movie stars. Design-wise, we're looking at something completely new. They were not 100% movie accurate, but they have their own charm and really a great look that differentiates themselves a lot from previous figures. First and foremost, a very unique factor of these guys was that they completely rubbery, and I mean rubbery as wow. You can make them headbang like that. Not only that, but the entire skin was textured, and you have them spots going over most of the face and the shoulders, with a very detailed shell and a longer bandana flowing in the wind, and not to mention very detailed and actually fairly close to what they had in the movie for a kid's toy. And let's not go too crazy. As usual, every turtle came with their signature weapon in different colors. If my colors aren't really matching up so good, is because I don't think I have the original weapon for each of these guys, because it was really just a repaint, but it has more value if you're having this one in like I think a light green, or there's like a pink version of it. They also came with ninja stars, an ooze canister, and usually some wacky weapon variation. And once again, we're having completely plastic removable belts, and the cool part about this, there was no line indicating where to put the belt. It just stays up like that. So actually displaying your turtle without the belt, not such a bad idea in this case. Size-wise, we're looking at 11 centimeters, something a little more closer to 4.5 inches. So definitely like somewhere in between of the very small first release TMNT figures from '88. And since we're having Mikey over here, the angled foot, is it there? Yes, although due to the rubber and everything, they tend to stay up fairly well. It depends. I mean, for me, it's like the closer you get the feet to each other, the better they stand. Boom. But it's okay. As far as articulation goes, we got ball joints everywhere. The head is on a ball joint, you can rotate it around. Same for the shoulders. Obviously, nothing going on in the arms because you have the rubber and the legs. Ball joints, same thing. Another thing I kind of forgot to mention, I say they're pretty movie accurate. I mean, the main thing that sticks out to me is the knee and arm pads, which were all like in a brown shade for them. A little change that I can appreciate, because once again, we're going back to it. It is a kid's toy, and making it more colorful is always a win in my book. I think I've said it once and I'll say it again. The thing about these guys is really the charm that brings them together, and a lot of uniqueness that went into making these figures. While not 100% movie accurate, it didn't matter. As kids, we were just like, oh my god, this looks amazing, I want this. And even as adults, it's like, oh my god, this looks amazing, I want this. And that's probably because these guys are actually a little bit more sought after. And I was lucky that I got these guys when I was just a kid. But after the big screen, where else would the Turtles go than go back to the TV screen and bring their live action costumes with them? Well, they kinda did. Just not the good costumes and not the budget. Oh. 1997 marked the year that brought us Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation, a live action series? Booyah! That's gonna be amazing, right? Well, unfortunately, there were a little bit of problems when Saban picked up the rights to TMNT and decided, alongside Power Rangers, they did a crossover later, but alongside Power Rangers, they were gonna bring TMNT into live action territory. Now, the thing about the show is this. It was all pretty cool. It was a decent idea to make the Turtles older. They were not teenagers anymore. They were now adults. So we gave them a new look, which I liked. Overall with the bandages, which they later would take over to the new show in 2012. And the different bandanas and whatnot, just to differentiate themselves. That was all fine and dandy. The problem, however, was that the show was filled with cringe and puns, and I mean, if you want to know about the puns, everybody talks about Batman and Robin. This show had more puns, probably in 1, maybe 2 episodes than the entire movie of Batman and Robin. Yes. Now, once again, the Turtles themselves, as in figure form, came in a lot more rubbery material as far as the arms, the legs, and the head go. The torso is fairly sturdy, and the weapon came in a simple blue. I mean, it depends. They were selling those in different color variations for whatever reason, and some of them are more rare than others. And they all had a special gimmick. In Raph's case, you just basically slide these 2 things into each other, which is not working right now, to make a Super Psy. Like something like that. Yeah, no. It's not working so well anymore. They all now came with belts with a strap that goes over the shoulder, and also differentiate themselves in the knee pads. As you can see, Leo has a different style of knee pads and elbow pads as everybody else. You have the long bandana going on, and as far as the gimmick goes, Leo has swords that can scissor, I guess, which is not something that was featured in the show. I'm pretty sure it just had regular katanas and none of this stuff. Size-wise, all of these dudes clocked in at around 5 inches, 12 centimeters, so they're definitely a little bit taller than what we're used to. Unfortunately, you would think that stability would be a big feature then. Nope. You get the angled foot with Donnie and also Leo. I just found out with Donnie because he has the worst. He has the absolute worst. Raph and Mike, they were spared by that. Thank you. And finally, the articulation. We went back to the swivel on the head, which I'm just not a fan of. Why not a ball joint? For the rest of it, we have ball joints though in the shoulder and the legs and nothing else. But because you have the rubbery material, I mean, that was cool. As a kid, you could always like move them around and be like, yeah, let's go guys, let's go eat some pizza. And that's I didn't even try to make a Mikey voice there, just for the record, before you go like, that was the worst Mikey of all time. Yes it was. And his belt is moved. Let me get that back up. And as far as weapon gimmick go, Mikey has the tonfa that transform into a nunchuck. Whatever. I mean, at least you can have a nunchuck. Yay! And yes, this is TMNT Toy Throwback, and I said I'll only talk about the 4 turtles. But a special situation calls for a special action, calls for a special introduction of Venus the Milo. One of the most hated characters in Turtles ever, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. I honestly like her. I like her design overall, and having a female turtle was a cool idea. Just like light blue, really? Light blue? Why not like, I don't know, pink, yellow? Anything else to differentiate yourself instead of just being another shade of Leo's color. I mean, it doesn't matter. The thing about Venus though, she was very poorly portrayed. I mean, once she came in, every of the 4 turtles just started drooling like teenage boys. And the thing was like, they're adults now, but they're acting like they're 13 again. And they were like, I am Shinobi. And that was like she's a magician. No, that's not what Shinobi means. Absolutely not. Did anybody Google that? I guess there wasn't any Google in 1997. Fair enough. Rubber. That was the theme of tonight's show. Definitely rubber. Why? I don't know. I guess the Playmates thought like, well, you know all this rubber that was used in the costumes? We should use that on making figures. That makes no sense, but you know what? I'm just here to ramble and wrap this up. If it's small budget, big budget, the Turtles have shown that they can hang in the live action scene, but the big budget was definitely a lot kinder to them, and having Jim Henson making the amazing costumes for the movie, and Playmates actually delivering on making amazing figures. If not 100% movie accurate, it was still something special, and as kids, and even as adults, we didn't care. It was about the special figure. It was about having that figure in your collection. So that's gonna wrap it up with the live action ones, but you might be saying, Payne, wait up! What about the other ones? There was like more live action stuff, right? Well, I got that for another time. So until next time, I hope you will be joining me for more Turtle Power! And until then, enjoy your pizza time.